You've been trading in your demo account, your live account, your funded accounts. You've been studying, you've been backtesting, but you're still struggling making money. And listen, I've been there, but I know that there is hope. And you're probably asking these questions of like, okay, like all these ads and these people on Instagram and YouTube talk about funded accounts. I know they work, but how? And the biggest question is anybody really making any money with these funded accounts? The answer is yeah. I've made probably close to most of your salaries in my bank account trading with these funded accounts. And so I want you guys to be able to get to the place where you're doing the same, if not better. If this is you, I have something that I believe is going to help you start seeing results. If you spent 3, 6 months, a year, or even 6 years trading and you're not seeing the results, it's probably because of this one thing, and it's that you're not sticking to one strategy. You need to have a big enough sample size in order to really see if something's really working. A lot of times, and this was honestly me for the first year, I was just jumping from strategy to strategy, person to person, signal to signal. And it was like, if that 7-figure trader wasn't trading or making money, then I wasn't making money. I wasn't really learning because I was not fully, serious and focused in on that one strategy. So you've got to stick to one style and one strategy of trading. All right, but the goal of this video is to help you become profitable trading with funded accounts. Yes, there are, brokers, but why trade with a broker when a funded account, you can put a small amount of money and get access to, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 worth of capital. And we all know that the more money you have, the more opportunities and the more money you can make. The goal of this video is to help you become not only a profitable trader, but a profitable trader trading with funded accounts. All right, so the reality is 90% of traders are not successful. And then there's that, 9 to 10% that are. But I'll be honest, for that first year, that was me. I was in that 90% hard. I was making money, but then I was losing it. And so my motto is, if the money does not hit your bank account, it's not real. So therefore, in my opinion, for the first year, my money wasn't real. Like, I was playing. And so I got to a space where I'm like, come hell or high water, I'm going to get to that 10%. So what is it going to take? Now that I've moved from that 90% to that 10%, I'm here to help you shorten that learning curve. That way you can make money a lot faster than me. I had to think, what was it just mentally that kind of just clicked and changed and kind of had that, light bulb experience? I came up with 3 things that I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're probably doing right now. And the great thing is that they are not that hard to fix. If you can change these 3 things, there's no reason why you shouldn't, not only be able to be profitable, but being profitable trading Forex with these funded accounts. All right, so this first one is just, the reality is going from trading $500 to $1,000, and only risking like $50 to $75 and, at certain times $100 is a totally different ball game from trading on $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, and then, losing $1,000, $5,000 in a couple of minutes or a couple of hours. And so a lot of times we actually underestimate how much needs to be shifted and adjusted in our minds. Because, for me, I've mentioned on several videos, you need to know how to trade, but you also have to have the right mindset. And a lot of times we've pounded in our heads candlestick patterns and indicators, all these different things, but our mental is not there for regular accounts. And so when you try to add that weak trading psychology with these big boy funded accounts, it's why you keep failing. Listen, I probably have blown and messed up at least 12 to 15 funded accounts before I got it right. So I understand what you're probably going through. But once you make this shift, it's a lot easier. Okay, so the question is, what does it take for me to be able to make the shift? Well, great question. You have to change how you think. So, on those smaller accounts, it's like, okay, in my trading journal, my goal is to make $500 a week or, $100 a day or some sort of numeric number for your weekly goals. But what needs to shift is that with funded accounts, you need to start thinking about things in percentages. So for instance, making 1% on $1,000 account takes the same skill set to make 1% on a $100,000 account. And so you need to keep the same fundamentals, the same strategy, the same thing that you were doing in your smaller accounts, and carry that over into your, your larger funded accounts. And if you have that mentality versus now I'm trading with the big boys, so I gotta switch up. No, do the same thing and you get the same results. But again, it's more mental than anything. All right, so a little sub point to this is that there's like 3 things that, traders are doing that's like stopping you from also getting funded. And it's, you have no trading plan, you're over risking, and you're over trading. Like, you've got to get to the place where even though with a $100,000 funded account of capital, you don't have to trade every day. Like, you need to get to the place where FOMO is not dictating when you take a trade, because you're gonna lose money, you're gonna break the rules and so forth. You got to get to that place where it's like, yo, no matter what happens, I am going to be disciplined. And if you do that, you should be fine. This next one is that you need to set realistic expectations. Like, the reality is, just because you have more access to more money, it doesn't mean that you're gonna be a millionaire overnight. We all know that those Forex flexers that are they're buying the Maseratis and the houses and all that kind of stuff. I mean, if you spend more time looking at those things and what you want to buy versus just each day trying to make those percentages and compounding your account, you're not going to compound. So you got to get to the place where it's like, you have to be realistic. Like, you need to get to the place where my goal is to build, my goal is not to gamble. And if you can just have that mindset, marry that mindset, like, I'm telling you, you have the golden key to changing your whole financial dream at this point. But you've got to be realistic, because if you get access to all this money and you start gambling it, yeah, it's a funding account's risk that they're covering, but the reality is you're also not making any money. All right, and so this next one is, you need structure. How do you get structure, Brandi? Or like, what are some questions that I can ask myself each day to make sure I have structure? It's like, okay, what time frames am I trading in? Am I trading, in the 4 hour, in the 1 hour, in the 30 minute, the 15 minutes? Which time frame on TradingView do I use in order to, figure out if I'm really gonna enter this trade? What time frames on TradingView am I using to, to actually mark up my support and resistance? Like, you need to get to the place where you know exactly what time frames you're using. You need to know what session you're trading. Are you trading in Asian session, London session, New York? Like, where are you trading? What are you trading? And when are you trading? All of those questions need to be answered. All those questions are important for you to have clear answers on. And then also too, what pairs are you trading? You can't just trade all the pairs that all the signals, give you and wonder why you haven't been able to kind of get the eye for like, yeah, I seen that pair. It typically does this around, 4:30 before the market closes, right? So you need to get to the place where if you're studying like a 3 to 5 pairs, like after a while, you start to kind of see how they move, and you understand that like with gold, it always does stuff crazy at, I don't know, an hour before the market closes, or there's things of that sort, which is important for your risk management. It's important as you're trying to gauge if you should get in trades. So all that's about structure. Also, a bigger one is that, how much am I risking each day? What's the max number that I'm willing to risk and then be like, yo, I'm done for the day, I'll try again tomorrow? Like, structure is about having those rules and things written down in place, that to the point where it's like it becomes a system, a machine, a methodical way of doing things, so that it doesn't matter what's happening throughout your day or what's happening around you, you know what to expect and when to put in trades. So you just need to figure out what is realistic for how you trade and have it written down as like, a law for your trading, essentially. All right, so the bottom line is, it's important for you to know what to expect, how you're gonna trade, and then actually doing what you say you're gonna do in order to really be, or just in order to see the results you're trying to see, especially trading that much money. It's not like I said only, a 0.05% of people are profitable. It's 10%. And 10% of our Forex trading community is thousands of people. So thousands of people have a different strategy of, how they trade, but they're following those foundational principles that I listed in this video. And for me, after I finally I bought into the fact of there's no shortcut around this, Brandi. You've got to do those same foundational things, and then you can get fancy. But if you don't have those things ingrained into your foundation, you're not going to see any fruit of all this labor that and work you've been putting in. So with that being said, I do hope this was helpful. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.